kind of fussed with is they wanted starch syrup, like a corn syrup, for example. And I didn't feel like buying any corn syrup, so I'm actually just going to use honey, which is a reasonable substitute. It's a little sweeter. I think we'll be okay. And I need to mix in 2 tablespoons of the starch syrup along with 1 tablespoon of regular milk. And I have to heat that. And then I have to add in a couple tablespoons of condensed milk as well. There's a lot of milk in these recipes. Like, I know there's no butter, but these are not for lactose intolerant people, which is really interesting because Asia is actually very full of people who are lactose intolerant. I think I read somewhere it's like 30% of the population is lactose intolerant, which is pretty incredible. It's like no wonder so many people in anime hate milk. Alright. I stand a little extra because I know I'm going to miss some out of the spoon. You can also use molasses instead of corn syrup. And the idea is it has to be really sweet and really thick. And they can kind of just go measure for measure. Okay, and now a tablespoon of milk. Milk and honey. I love that. Zap that for 20 whole seconds. That'll be fun. And while that is going on, I am going to find the can opener. Right? I know it's somewhere. Since I cook in this kitchen. I'm not very fond of this. Condensed milk looks kind of gross. If you didn't know. Here, I'll show you. It looks kind of like a really thick broth or something like that. Ew. Alright, 2 tablespoons of condensed milk. As you can see, a lot of the goal here is in the thickness, I think, because butter and creams and oils are all about thickness. If you just replace them with, water or something, it really would not work very well. Texture-wise, of course. Alright, and now I need to stir. And so that means I need something to stir with. I'm just going to get this on the lid. Let me get that. Okay, stirring. And Now normally honey would probably be a little difficult to stir, but since we zapped it, that made it much easier. That is tasty. Yeah. So I'm not going to try any. I'm going to be good. Okay. So that's that bowl. And now I need another bowl for egg sugar. I'm going to want whisk. There's a lot of kitchen stuff in here. My parents are quite the chefs themselves, you see. Okay, I need sugar. A third of a cup? Third of a cup. 1/3, 1 cup. It may not sound like a lot for a cake, but we've also got the apricot preserves, and then we've got all this stuff, the honey, and condensed milk is sweetened. So I'm not worried about that. The sugar and 2 eggs. I'm not always so great with eggs. I could toss them into the sink from here, which is nice about my parents' kitchen. It's very well organized. I hate having egg all over me. Okay, whisking. This is probably pretty tasty. But it's raw egg, so you don't need it. Okay. Until thickened. It actually said to use a hand mixer, and I'm not sure if they meant by hand or if they meant like an automatic whisker. Did I get some shine? No. Okay. Sometimes when you have smaller amounts, it helps to do this. I know it looks like really classic, like serious people like, oh, doing too much stuff. Gotta hold the bowl. I did get some shelling. But the reality is, sometimes it's very helpful when you've only got a little bit, so you can stir it better. What am I going to do next? Oh, I have to get the almond powder out. It wanted me to toast the almond powder. And some more white. I want to make sure it's not another eggshell. Boy, how did I do so badly with that? Okay. Eggs out for that. Toasted almond powder. That toasted up very nicely. No burning or anything. Perfect. Alright. Add the syrup mixture from step 2 using a rubber spatula. That would be one of these. And that's to make sure that you get all the stuff up on the side, especially when you're dealing with something sticky like honey. It's hard to get it all. Like, I could sit here for probably another 5 minutes and get more, but I'm not going to do that bad. That's part of why it's always better to just slightly overestimate rather than underestimate on a measurement. Because, you know, as you transfer things from bowl to bowl, you're never going to get all of it out. Alright, that's good. That's really good. Okay. And then I'm just add the cake flour, which I need 1 cup of, so I'm just going to keep using 1/3 cup and just do 3 of them, I think. Ugh. Cake flour, unbleached, and it's still so white. Yeah, I'm going to use scissors. Now this recipe has a lot of things that call for cake flour. Presumably because it's a little lower in fat and it is good for cakes. Funny how that works. Although not everything in this cookbook are cakes. There's a lot of different desserts in here, including some pies and tarts and things. You know, some of the desserts are really classic low-fat desserts, like, which means they're fruit instead of pastries. But there's a lot of stuff in here that are pastries, which I think is really cool, because I love pastries. I love cakes and cookies, and I love tarts and all sorts of doofy things like that. So, alright, just to mix briefly before stirring in the cherry brandy and vanilla extract. And you notice I got out all the ingredients before I started. This is very important if you are not very, very, very familiar with exactly what's in your kitchen, because you never know what you might realize at the last second. Oh God, I'm out of. Oh God, I need, etc. That is always bad to happen during a cooking project, because then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I have to go to the store. And if you are cooking at a funny time of day, like I am, it is not currently even 7:30 in the morning. It's not always easy to get to the grocery stores that have the ingredients that you want, depending on what you need, of course. Kirschwasser. This is the Kirschwasser cocktail mixer. It's a cherry brandy. Cheaper than I expected, with such a fancy name. And I need 1 tablespoon of that, and just a dash of vanilla extract. So, 20 tablespoons sticking. I'll make it a mess. Alright, 1 tablespoon of cherry brandy. And I'm not quite sure how you do a dash of a liquid like vanilla extract. It's probably more for the smell than anything, so I'm just going to use a little tiny bit, like not even a capful. That's probably good. Yeah. When my brother was little once, he decided to try out some vanilla extract because the smell was so good. He did not come out of that a happy boy. Now, this is resulting in a very, very sticky batter. It's going to be really fun to pour this into the pan. Oh! Somewhere in there, I missed the almond powder, which was supposed to be mixed in with the flour a while ago, so I'm going to add it in now. Hopefully that change in order will not make a huge difference. So mix that together. I don't think that will change the consistency of the batter any. Not all that much. It does change the look a lot. It almost looks like a spice cake or something now. Okay. Whisks are great tools, but they can be a pain in the butt. Okay. Alright, pour into pan and bake at 350 for 13 minutes. Then I place the apricot halves on top and sprinkle on some sugar, and then I bake it for another 15 minutes. So let's see if we can get it into the, they actually use wax paper in church. It's not like you need to take the cake out anywhere. Okay. Let us pour. Or try. Wax paper in the dish is so weird to me. But you can see that's how they're doing it in the book, so I thought I'd give it a try. I guess it makes it easier to take the takeout layer. Ugh. I don't know. It's not going so hot. Oh, she's so down you go. How do they do it? I wonder if they take the Alright, we've got a lot more to go. Alright. Get this all out now. It's all or nothing. Good. Getting stuff all over me. And somehow I don't mind because I'm going to lick it off later. I wasn't spitting it, I was blowing it. Okay. That is good as it's going to get, but I'm going to make one more swoop around just to make sure. So sticky. Boy, I really hope this comes out okay. But you know, I've had sticky batters before. It can be delicious in the end. So, alright. Alright. And now, no. Doesn't look like mustard. But it looks kind of like mustard. But it doesn't taste like mustard. I'm not at all sure why they do this with the wax paper. Got one. Got that one. Put it in. I'm actually going to spread it a bit in here. Well, yeah, mine does not look anything like theirs. We'll see how this comes out. I don't know. Okay, 13 minutes.